Social media university. And in hearing all the things that you're saying that you can't be doing, my mind went right to like a lot of these like fake gurus, the people who sell like courses promising the world. They do so many of those things. Like they'll put an arbitrary value and say it's 99% off. They'll like say that these results, they'll talk about these crazy results. So you've already stated that that's not allowed. How do they get away with that?
Yeah, that's a question I get all the time too. It's like, especially from brands that want to take a really aggressive marketing approach. What I tell my clients is I'm not there to say no to everything. If I just said like
Yeah.
you can't do this because it has legal risk, you wouldn't be able to operate your business basically. I
Mm.
I understand the appeal of getting those higher conversion rates being a little bit more aggressive. So what I try to do is just identify the risk, and then it's ultimately a business decision as to how much legal risk you want to take on. But yeah, to answer that question, how do these people get away with it? There's a couple reasons. Number one, government resources are limited. The FTC tends to go after bigger fish where they think there's so much more consumer harm that it's worth it. Not always. They've gone after some smaller brands, especially CBD companies recently. But yeah, national and state, they can't be everywhere. So it's
No.
just a matter of prioritizing. And then from the consumer standpoint, it's just luck. I mean, a lot of these things, if you had a motivated person who felt that they were harmed by whatever that tactic was, and they approached a plaintiff's lawyer, like it's just because that hasn't happened that you don't see
Mm.
more activity around that. But the other thing is we don't really know how much of that goes on because not every issue that you hire a lawyer for becomes a public court case. A lot of these things settle out before complaints are filed, or even if the lawsuit is initiated, it's not like everything goes to trial. It's like something like 2 or 3% of cases actually get tried. Everything else settles, and it's almost always confidential. So we don't really know how many of these people are getting peppered with lawsuits here and there. But yeah, it's resources and it's luck basically. But it does happen, and it happens pretty frequently. We just don't always hear about it.
And so as a consumer, if you were a victim of some of these tactics, do you report this to someone? Like how does that proceeding take place?
Yeah, you've got a few options. You can leave a review at the Better Business Bureau. That's not a government agency, but if enough complaints stack up, the BBB will sometimes refer that to government agencies. And if you have a long
Okay.
track record of bad BBB reviews, then that can influence whether an agency is going to take a closer look. You can report consumer fraud to your state authorities. Every state differs a little bit, but most of them, at least California, I know for sure, has like an online portal to report consumer fraud. You can also file complaints directly with the FTC. So those are the sort of government routes you can take. But if you were defrauded, or even if you're not sure if you're concerned about that having happened, you can reach out to a plaintiff's attorney in your jurisdiction, and most of them will entertain a consult with you to say, this is worth pursuing or it's not. So those are the options.